Hello and welcome to this channel. I hope you enjoy this story. I'm going to try and upload each day. The Haunting of Mary by Sean Arnold. Mary had always been able to see ghosts. Ever since she was a little girl, she could sense the presence of the restless spirits that lingered in the world. She learned to ignore them, to pretend they weren't there, to avoid the places where they were most active. She grew up to be a normal, successful woman with a good job, a nice apartment, and a loving boyfriend. But everything changed when she moved into her new home. It was an all-Victorian house with a lot of history and charm. She fell in love with it at first sight and convinced her boyfriend to buy it with her. She didn't notice the cold spots, the creaking noises, the faint whispers that filled the air. She didn't see the shadows that moved in the corners of her eyes, or the figures that stood behind her in the mirror. She was happy until the night of her housewarming party. She invited all her friends and family over to celebrate their new life together. She cooked a delicious meal, set up the music, and decorated the rooms with candles and flowers. She was having a great time until she went upstairs to get some more wine from the cellar. She opened the door to the basement and felt a sudden chill. She shivered and reached for the light switch. But before she could turn it on, she saw something that made her scream. There was a woman standing at the bottom of the stairs, staring at her with hollow eyes. She was pale and thin, with long black hair and a white dress stained with blood. She had a rope around her neck, and her face was twisted in agony. Mary slammed the door shut and ran back to the living room. She was shaking and crying, and told her boyfriend what she had seen. He tried to calm her down and told her it was just her imagination. He said he would go check it out and prove to her that there was nothing there. He grabbed a flashlight and headed to the basement. Mary waited for him anxiously, hoping he would come back soon. She heard him open the door and descend the stairs. She heard him say hello in a tentative voice, and then she heard him scream. She ran to the door and tried to open it, but it was locked from the inside. She banged on it and called his name, but there was no answer. She heard a thud and then silence. She panicked and looked for something to break the door with. She found a fire poker and swung it at the handle. It broke off and she pushed the door open. She ran down the stairs and saw a horrifying sight. Her boyfriend was lying on the floor, his eyes wide open and his mouth agape. He had a large wound on his chest, where his heart had been ripped out. His blood was everywhere, staining the walls and the floor. And above him, hovering in the air, was the woman in white. She looked at Mary with a wicked smile, and said, "He's mine now." She reached out her hand towards Mary as if to grab her. Mary screamed again and ran back up the stairs. She slammed the door behind her and locked it with a chair. She grabbed her phone and dialed 911. She told them there was an intruder in her house who had killed her boyfriend. She begged them to come quickly. She waited for them in terror, hoping they would arrive soon. She heard the woman banging on the door, trying to get out. She heard her say, "Let me in, let me in." She ignored her and prayed for help. The police arrived in minutes. They broke down the door and stormed into the house. They found Mary in the living room, clutching her phone and crying. They asked her where the intruder was. She pointed to the basement. They went down there cautiously, guns drawn. They found nothing. No body. No blood. No woman. Just an empty cellar. They searched the whole house, but found no sign of anyone else. They asked Mary what had happened. She told them everything. They didn't believe her. They thought she was crazy. They took her away in handcuffs. They charged her with murder. She pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. She said she was haunted by ghosts. They said she was delusional. They locked her up in a mental hospital. She never got out. She still sees ghosts. But now they're not just strangers. They're people she knew. People she loved. People she killed. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this story. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.